So let us talk about why belief work is usually bogus. What do I mean by that? You know, having been originally trained, I mean, I was going to be a psychotherapist when it first started out 30 years ago. So I have been in the game of psychology and neuroscience and, you know, behavioral, cognitive, all of that, many certifications. And the Holy Grail has always been, to some extent, to help people break through the beliefs that hold them back. Now, how many times have you said, I could have such abundance or such health or the perfect ideal soulmate relationship if only I didn't have some kind of block? I don't know what it is, but there's something in there. It's holding me back, man. Something in there is holding me back. And everyone has thought that for all of ever. And so the fields of psychology and personal development and, you know, even metaphysics and neuroscience and all of it has been working so hard on trying to change a belief. And then we have all the things that come out that, you know, and I'm not knocking anything. I'm a huge proponent of EFT, the matrix, the belief code, the emotion code, NLP. I've taken them all. I've taken all the training. But at the end of the day, something has been missing. What has been missing? That's what we're going to talk about today. If you take a belief, such as, I'm unworthy. That's what a block is, right? A block is like saying, I want this, I don't have it. Must be because I have a block. And blocks are normally considered that I'm unworthy, I'm not good enough, there isn't enough, I'm undeserving, I'm unlovable. People who love you always leave. Whatever your brand or flavor is. Let's just take the universal one of that is always like, I'm not good enough. It's the worthiness one. So one of the things I want you to understand and just really think about is that you don't have a part of your brain that has a worthiness calibration system on it. Do you think that if I put you under an MRI, I could find where worthiness is in your brain? No. There is absolutely, I've studied the brain for many years, and there is absolutely 100% not something in your brain that says, here's the worthiness odometer. There's nothing inside your head. And yet, for hundreds of years, we've been looking for it in there. That's the first mistake. That's the first reason I say belief busting is bogus. Because if you're trying to change something thinking it's here and it's not here, how are you going to change it? Now, part of your thinking from a neuroscience perspective is indeed your neural network. And so thoughts are things to a certain extent. But you do not have a belief in your brain that says you are unworthy. Okay? So here's how I'm going to tell you how we track it down and how we change it. First thing I want you to do is look at what part of your life is not going how you want it to be. Is it money? Is it love? Is it health? It's usually one of those things. Or success. But let's just, for the sake of argument, let's just say whatever it is, you want this, but you got this. There's a belief around that. So the first thing I would ask you is, if we were in a session, would be, why is it that that thing is like that? And the very first thing that comes to your mind, the very first thought that comes to your mind is usually where I can find the belief. So if I say, well, why don't you have more clients? Oh, there's just too much competition. That's a belief. There's not ever too much competition. Why don't you have what you want? Maybe some people will be more honest and apply it to themselves. I want to tell you something, a big side note here. The people who say there's not enough houses, there's not enough clients, if you're in real estate. But there's not enough this, there's not enough that. That's a scarcity consciousness, which is in victim mode, because it's saying that something out here is not giving me joy and satisfaction in here. You get that? So your first answer to whatever's wrong is a big clue. Now, if you're graduated a level up and your first answer is, I don't know, I must have some kind of block. A lot of people that come to me for sessions, that's what I hear. I must have some kind of block. So that's a step up from saying it's just not safe, the government, blah, blah, blah. Because that's a victim. We don't want to be victim. It's okay if you are, but just take a quantum leap and recognize that your external environment is merely a reflection of your internal one. So it's never the government, it's never those clients, it's never your parents. Okay? Sorry, but it's not. So bringing it back home and saying you must have some sort of block. Okay. So, what would that block be saying? For example, if you tell me I must have some kind of block because I just can't attract more clients, the belief is I can't attract more clients. We're going to go with that one. Now, you can sit there all day long. You can do every program out there on I can't attract enough clients. You could reverse it and you can say, I attract all the clients I want. I attract the clients with abundance. I attract. But those are just words. And I'm going to tell you, an unconscious belief that you've had for decades is not comprised of words. It is emotions and it is images. So you can affirm yourself silly, but it ain't going to change anything. Okay? It may momentarily give you a dopamine or a serotonin rush and you'll be, yeah, affirmations work. They don't work. Not in that context. They work in other ways. Okay, so here we have you with this belief that you just can't attract more clients. You're not blaming it on the market. You're not blaming it on other people. You know that whatever the thing is, you have not been able to attract clients, and you're taking full responsibility. Something within me is blocking me or keeping me from doing this. So now it's time to go belief hunting. So if you have, we identified that you have this belief that you can't attract more clients. So now we have to do some detective work. And the detective work might look like this. What are the benefits of not attracting more clients? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the digging. What are the benefits of not having more clients? And you're like, you're crazy. There's no benefits. I guarantee you, you have unconscious benefits. Otherwise, you'd be doing the thing. This is one of the hardest things when we're doing belief changing that people have a hard time getting their head around, because if there was not some benefit to you not being able to attract clients, you would just be attracting the clients. But whatever that is, whatever unconscious belief that you have, it's in place for a reason. So let's take a sidebar here and go to the reason. When you were young, probably before you were age 7, you either witnessed or experienced something. And it gave you this idea and this emotion that somehow it was safer for you to do or see or think this. So in the case of, I just can't attract more clients, what does attracting clients mean? What do you think you'd have to do to attract more clients? Maybe if you attracted more clients, everyone would know you. Maybe if you attracted more clients, you would have less free time. Maybe if you attracted more clients, you'd get yourself out of debt, and then you would be in a better position than, financially speaking, than your siblings or your parents. Something inside of you from many, many years ago has you convinced biologically that it's safer to not attract clients. I want you to really get that, because it is key. So the way that we do it is we find what are the benefits of not having what we say we want. As backwards as it sounds. And then we say, okay, well, what are the drawbacks of me not having what I want. And then we come up with a list of those. And then we come up with a list of benefits if I had what I wanted. And then depending on where you're at, and if you have a guide like me or a coach, or if you're just doing this freelancing, DIY, you can do EFT. You can bring EFT. At what point in my life, what was that experience? And you don't have to go back and go to therapy for 5 years. You can just say, what experience happened to me, or that I witnessed or experienced, 50 years ago, or whenever it was, that made me think that it's safer to whatever the drawbacks, the benefits to the drawbacks are. So maybe you said some of the benefits of the drawbacks are it keeps me small. Maybe one of the benefits of the drawbacks are I don't have to be committed to working 8 hours a day. And maybe another one was if I don't make more money, then I won't rise above my family members. Okay? And yours could totally be different. They probably are. But those are very common ones. And so you're not asking yourself, where in my past did I feel like it's not safe to attract clients? Because your brain is going to go, what are you, smoking crack? I don't have it. You didn't have clients when you were 5 years old, right? But when you get to those benefits of the drawbacks, now you can ask those questions. You can say, okay, what memory does it bring back when I think that it's safer to play small? When in my life was playing small safer? Like for me, I had a dad who was an alcoholic, and he was violent. And so when he would come home, if he was like, sloshing around and yelling and throwing stuff around, I knew that it was safest for me to hide in my room or to go hide in the backyard behind a tree. I had an old tire swing, and I'd go hang out there with my journal. I think that's when I first was like 7 or 8 years old, when I knew I wanted to be a writer, because I would just go out there and hide for hours because I didn't want to get hit. So me not wanting to get hit meant that I had to hide to be safe. So I went through years of my life feeling that anything that exposed me, like the old me I have 500 and something videos on YouTube now. The old me when I was in my 20s would have never gotten on a video. I didn't even like having my picture taken. I did not want to be seen because it was not safe. Do you get that? So what we're doing is we're revealing the benefits to the drawbacks of the belief that we have. So we've gone through a process, and in my book, it's more clear. And if you coach with me, it's more clear too, because I know I kind of go all over the place. But just to recap, you're finding the area of your life that's not satisfactory. You're asking yourself, why is it like this? What's my part in it? And you're taking responsibility. And then you're recognizing, okay, that's a belief. What are the drawbacks of that belief? And you can say, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have that. What are the benefits of those drawbacks? And that's where the gold is. When you get to the benefits of the drawbacks, that's where you're going to find your beliefs. It keeps me small. When in my life did I have to keep small? It keeps me from not outdoing my siblings. When in your life did you outdo or almost outdo one of your siblings that left a scar emotionally or energetically to where you told yourself, I'm never going to do that again? You see, all the beliefs that you have right now were put in place on purpose, very, very intentionally, by your brain, your unconscious thinking, to help keep you safe. To help keep you safe. But you don't need that anymore. So we use this process, and I use it on everything from frustration to relationship issues to health issues to self-sabotage to money issues. I have probably 24 worksheets or work scripts that I work out with clients, depending on what it is. And then either we take the charge of it and we use EFT or breathwork and we get it out of our system, or we go back and we look at the images and we just tap it out that way. But at the end of the day, that is the best way to reprogram a belief, because the beliefs that you have about not enough clients, not enough money, I don't deserve it, I'm not worthy, they're not just words in your head. There's no location for worthiness in here, remember? They're emotions and images that have been charged, catalyzed millions of times, thousands of times, however many times. So they're now embedded in your nervous system. So for me to tell you, go affirm, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy, it's in your nervous system. We have to get it, your brain it's just a small part. We have to recalibrate your nervous system. Does that make sense? And so, we do that through the psychology of questioning, smart questions. So we get our conscious mind on board. We do it subconsciously through metacreating, through EFT and hypnosis. And we do it physically through somatic work like breath work and calming our nervous system. Because we cannot change a self-limiting belief from a constricted nervous system. Does that make sense? If your nervous system is like this, it doesn't matter all the work that you do, it's not going to make a difference. So if you want to change a belief, the best way to do it is the process that I just gave you. And this comes from many years of experience and working with so many clients and writing so many books and all the research that I've done. So I promise you, I'm not just blowing smoke when it comes to beliefs. Beliefs are out of control as being the scapegoat. And it's not that it's a belief in your brain. It's a belief that's in your body that was there in play to protect you. And you don't need it anymore. You don't need that stinking belief. And one of the other things, I'll just go ahead and throw this in there, is we can do inner child work where I can just lead you through a process of having you go tell your younger self, let's release that belief and we can cut it away. I mean, quantum physics doesn't lie. Universal truths are universal truths. Gravity doesn't just work sometimes. Every time, if I drop this pin, it's going to drop, unless you put me in outer space and it's not going to drop. Universal laws work the same exact way. We just forget that. Why do we forget it? Because there's subtle energy, and we don't see subtle energy with our eyes, so I don't see it, it must not be there. Not true. Subtle energy is not only very much there, it's why you're here. If it wasn't for the energetic field, your body wouldn't have been produced. And that goes for disease too. The energetic field, you get disease there before it manifests in your body. So the energetic field is very alive and well, and it's got solid principles behind it. So when you go to do belief work, I want you to really keep in mind that you're not just working with your brain. You're working with your brain, your nervous system, your subconscious mind, and your energy field. Okay? So hopefully you've found this useful. Up until the end of August, I'm still doing a single session, only one, you only get one, for $111, which includes a bioscan. Oh my gosh, it's going to be really worth it. I mean, I'm telling you right now, it's normally $250, and sometimes it's $500. It depends on the work we're doing. So I really hope you'll take advantage of it. Click the link below, and let's find a time to chat, and I look forward to working with you.